What happens when a beloved British actor walks into what should be a friendly daytime chat and finds himself face to face with one of television's most notoriously difficult hosts? It only took 35 seconds for Denise Welch to reveal her true colors and turn what was meant to be a light-hearted interview into an absolute car crash that would leave Colin Markle stunned, the audience gasping, and her fellow panelists scrambling to salvage what was left of their show's reputation. The Loose Women studio was alive with its usual Wednesday buzz. Bright lights bathed the curved purple table where Denise Welch sat front and center as that day's anchor. To her left, Nadia Sawalha was already laughing at something off camera. Kay Adams flicked through her notes with practiced calm, and Linda Robson, ever the people pleaser, waved at familiar faces in the warm-up crowd. The floor manager counted them back in from the ad break. 5, 4, 3. In walked Colin Markle. He looked exactly like the nation expected. Navy crew, neck sweater, salt-tanned, pepper hair neatly side-parted, that gentle half-smile that had melted hearts from Downton to the West End. The audience erupted, phones shot up. A few people actually cooed. Colin gave a small, grateful wave and took the guest chair opposite Denise. He crossed one leg over the other, clasped his hands, and looked genuinely pleased to be there. His publicist had chosen Loose Women deliberately. They'll let him be himself, she'd told the team. Warm, funny, no gotcha moments. The brief had been crystal clear. Keep it light. Focus on the new film about fractured families and second chances. Avoid politics. Avoid anything that could be twisted. Everyone had nodded. Everyone had smiled. Except perhaps Denise. She had spent the commercial break scrolling furiously on her phone, lips pressed into a thin line. No one thought much of it. Denise often had strong opinions brewing. But when the red light came on and she turned to camera, something was already simmering behind her eyes. Welcome back to Loose Women, she began, voice bright, almost too bright. We are absolutely thrilled to have the wonderful Colin Markle with us today. Colin, thank you so much for coming. Colin leaned forward, eyes crinkling. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, ladies. Honestly, it's a real pleasure. I've been watching the show for years with my mum. She'll be beside herself when I tell her I've finally sat at this table. It was the perfect, polite, slightly self-deprecating guest opener. The audience all waited. Nadia beamed. Kay opened her mouth to ask the first film question. Denise got there first. Oh, have you really? She said, smile fixed, tone suddenly razor sharp. You've been watching for years, that's interesting, because I seem to remember you doing a newspaper interview where you said daytime television was mindless noise for people who can't read subtitles. A record-scratch silence fell across the studio. Colin blinked, genuinely confused. I'm sorry, I don't recall saying anything like, well, it's out there. Denise cut in, tapping her phone against the desk like evidence. Google's forever, Colin. Nadia tried to laugh it off. I think we've all said things in interviews we regret. But Denise was already rolling. No, let's not brush it under the carpet. Colin's a big star, he can take it. Can't you, Colin? Colin opened his mouth, closed it, then gave a small, bewildered smile. If I did say something like that, then I owe everyone here an apology. Truly, that would have been incredibly rude, and I'm sorry. The apology was graceful, instant, and heartfelt. Any normal host would have accepted it and moved on. Denise did not. An apology? She repeated slowly, savoring the phrase. How very convenient. Tell me, Colin, is that what they teach you at RADA now? How to apologize your way out of being caught looking down on people? The audience gasped audibly. Someone in the front row actually said, "Oh my God." Kay Adams leaned forward, alarm flashing across her face. Denise, I don't think that's quite. No, Kay, I do think. Denise snapped, eyes still locked on Colin. Because our viewers aren't stupid, they know when someone's sitting there thinking they're better than a daytime show. Colin's cheeks flushed, but his voice stayed level. Denise, I promise you, that's not what I think. I chose to come here. I was excited to come here. Excited. Denise echoed mockingly. Right, because nothing says excited like sending your publicist with a list of banned topics longer than the M25. She waved a piece of paper triumphantly. The brief. The perfectly normal celebrity brief. Linda Robson looked like she wanted the floor to swallow her. Nadia's mouth had fallen open. Colin took a slow breath. Every guest has things they're comfortable discussing and things they're not. I would never dream of telling you how to do your job. Oh, wouldn't you?" Denise leaned in, voice dropping to a dangerous purr. "Because from where I'm sitting, it looks exactly like that. You swan in here with your perfect manners and your perfect jumper and your perfect little film about forgiveness, and we're all supposed to clap like trained seals." The studio had gone deathly quiet. You could hear the air conditioning. Colin looked at her for a long, steady moment. When he spoke again, his voice was soft but carried to the back row. "I came here in good faith, Denise. I've answered every question you've asked me honestly. If I've offended you personally, then tell me how, and I will apologize sincerely. But I won't sit here and let you put words in my mouth that I never said, or thoughts in my head that were never there." For the first time, Denise faltered, just a flicker, then she doubled down. "Offended me?" She laughed too loud. "Love, this isn't about me. This is about all the women at home who are sick of being talked down to by privileged men who think they're doing us a favor by showing up." Colin's eyes widened. He glanced at Nadia, at Kay, at Linda, all three of whom looked horrified, then back to Denise. "I'm genuinely lost," he said quietly. "I've never thought that. I don't think that now. I don't know where this is coming from." Nadia tried desperately to steer the ship. "Colin, tell us about the film." But Denise was on her feet now, palms flat on the table. "No, Nadia, let's not do the PR dance. Let's have a real conversation for once. Colin, do you actually believe regular people can relate to your arty little films, or do you just make them so critics will say you're serious?" The question wasn't just rude, it was designed to wound. Colin sat very still, then he looked straight down the camera lens as if speaking directly to the viewers at home. "I make films because stories matter to me," he said, voice steady. "I make them because I believe ordinary people, extraordinary people, all of us, have moments where we have to choose forgiveness or resentment, love or anger. And I'm humbled every time someone tells me one of my films helped them through something difficult. If that makes me pretentious in your eyes, Denise, then I'm sorry, but I won't apologize for caring about what I do." The audience started slow, clapping. It built. It became thunderous. Denise's face twisted. She opened her mouth, closed it, then tried again. "Well, aren't you just saintly?" She spat. Kay finally lost patience. "Denise, sit down. That is enough." Linda's eyes were brimming. "This is horrible. He's been nothing but lovely." Colin placed both hands on the table and stood, calm and deliberate. "Ladies," he said, looking at Nadia, Kay, and Linda in turn, "thank you for your warmth and your kindness. I'm truly sorry this hasn't been the experience any of us hoped for." He turned to Denise last. For the first time there was steel behind the gentleness, and Denise, "I don't know what's hurting you today, but I hope whatever it is gets better, because lashing out at people who have done nothing to you isn't strength. It's pain wearing a microphone." He gave the audience a small, sad smile, picked up his jacket, and walked off set without another word. The applause that followed him out was deafening. Denise stood frozen as the floor manager frantically signaled for a break. The cameras cut to the ITV ident. In homes across Britain, kettles were forgotten, phones blew up, and #Colin FTH Markle trended within 4 minutes. 12 minutes of live television had just rewritten a 20-year reputation, exposed raw nerve, and reminded an entire nation that sometimes the greatest acting isn't on screen. It's the quiet dignity of knowing when to walk away.